folks, with the questions, just remember we got a lot of hands raised and not a lot of time, so we're going to limit it to one question. Jared Smalley, start us.
Hi, Justin. Wanted to ask you about the commitment you all had as a team to throw the ball early in the game, committed to it throughout the first half, early into the second half. What was the point when you all decided to make that switch, you and Ryan and the offensive staff working together? When did you decide you needed to just tuck it and run?
When did we decide that?
Yeah, what was the point in the game where you all realized you needed to run the ball?
I mean, I just think, Trey had a lot of explosive runs out there. I mean, he played his ass off. He did a great job today. So I think, when you have a player that's in a rhythm like that, you just have to keep feeding him the ball, and that's what we did. So.
All right, we'll go next to Austin Ward, Lettermen Row.
Justin, can you update us on how your thumb is feeling and where you go from here? How much that might have limited you late in the game?
Yeah, it's pretty stiff right now. I really can't move it, but I think it's just a sprain, so probably just get some ice on it, and it should be good in a few days.
All righty, next up, Bill Landis, The Athletic.
Justin, when did you hurt your hand in the game, and did you feel like it was impacting your ability to throw the ball at all?
I heard it. I forgot what play I heard it on. I think it was a third down in the red zone when I hit that dude, and I tried to put my hand down to brace myself for the ground, but it kind of landed on straight up my thumb, and it kind of just bent backwards. So, but yeah, after that, I told coach that I really couldn't throw the ball. I mean, it was getting stiffer by the second. So, I think the last ball I completed was that out route to Garrett, and then after that, I mean, it was killing me. So, hopefully we have a good amount of time so I can get it recovered and healed up. So. Yeah.
All right, we'll go next to Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Justin, how much did it kind of throw things off for you to not have Chris Olave out there today, and in what ways did you guys miss him just in the offense overall?
I mean, yeah, we don't have one of your top receivers on the team. Of course, it's going to make my job harder, but I just think Northwestern did a great job on defense. There's a sound defense. They did a great job, doing their jobs. But yeah, I mean, it's really on me, to be honest with you. I wish I could say that they just had it locked down, but again, I just have to be flat out better, and that's that. I'm not trying to make any excuses. I just have to be better. So. Yeah.
All right, we'll go next to Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, Justin, I know you're not going to blame the thumb, but how much can you say it really did affect the way you threw? And was there a point where you considered coming out of the game because of it, because you weren't throwing it?
I mean, in the first half, it wasn't even the thumb. It was just, I think it was just overall execution, and again, that falls on me. I'm not blaming it on my thumb, because I don't want people to look at it, my thumb as an excuse. It's just flat out me. So yeah, that's it, me.
All righty, next up, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Hey, Justin, I know that you've known Trey, back since you guys were in Georgia. Just how proud are you of him to see him step up the way he did today?
Yeah, I'm very proud of him. I mean, we've been working out since like junior year of high school. We played against each other in high school. So just seeing him, his hard work pay off. I know the kind of guy he is. I know how hard he works. So just seeing that he's having success on the field is just great to see.
All right, we'll do two more. Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Justin, looking ahead, 6-0, do you deserve to be in the playoff?
Do we deserve to be in the playoff?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Because we're one of the top 4 teams in the country.
All righty, we'll wrap it up with Doug Lesmerises, Cleveland.com.
Justin, how would you grade this overall team performance? Kind of the last thing you get to show anybody before the playoff committee makes its decision. You ran for a bunch, defense played well. How overall did you guys play, do you think?
On offense, of course, we were down a lot of guys on offense, defense, and even special teams. But I think, more than anything, our team showed, fight. And that's been our motto the whole year. And I mean, no matter, how we played in the first half, I think we came back and fought our butts off in the second half. So, we just did whatever we could to win the game. And I think everybody kind of knew going into the locker room after the first half that we were going to win this game. So I'm just proud of, our brotherhood and the way all the guys came out there and fought in the second half.
All right, Justin, congratulations. Thank you very much for your time.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Mike, you all set? We got Coach Day here.
Go right to questions, I guess.
Yep. Coach Day, thank you very much. Congratulations. We will start out the questioning with Joey Kaufman from the Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, congrats on today's win. This is actually looking ahead a little bit, but there's been some talk from other coaches about the postseason and the Rose Bowl and the ability to have wanting families at that postseason event or bowl game like the Rose Bowl. What are your thoughts on that, and what would you like to see happen?
Yeah, I haven't. I honestly have not even thought about that yet. I mean, every ounce of my energy has been focused on this game. It was a really hard week for a lot of reasons. Losing Chris Olave and Baron Browning and Drew Chrisman and some major contributors in all three phases. It was tough. And then we lose Jackson, and it was stress. And we knew this was not going to be easy. This is not a team that gives you anything, and so all of our energy has been focused towards that. I did see the comments that were made. I also agree that I think families need to be there. These guys have been away from their families for a long time. Now the logistics and all that, I have not put any energy into thinking through that, so it's easy for me to say. But I'll after enjoy this a little bit, try to go through that and try to put more thought behind it.
All right, we'll go next to Bill Landis from The Athletic. Bill?
Hey, Ryan. It seemed like you were pretty intent on trying to throw the ball for really the first 3 quarters of the game, even though it seemed like Northwestern was pretty intent on not letting you do that and take shots down the field. Just when did you come around to sticking with the run? Why do you think it took so long maybe to get to that point?
Yeah, we were always going to be aggressive. That's just the way we are. And, just didn't execute great. I think we'll probably look back and have a lot to coach off of to fix. But the run game started to go, and the front run for over 300 plus yards. We wanted to kind of throw on them early, wear them down a little bit, and then run it a little bit in the second half. And that's kind of what played out. Now, it wasn't clean. Certainly didn't execute the way we wanted to. But, at the same time, at the end of the week, we're losing guys that we've been practicing. We had 10 days of practice with certain guys in certain spots, and then we had to move people around. It wasn't clean, and not making excuses, just what it was. That's what this whole season's been. I mean, this game was a microcosm of what these kids have been through this season. They've been through adversity. They've been through a lot. And I just think that this team is gritty. They're tough. They pull for each other. There's been games where the offense has played really good. Defense just been okay. And now this game's kind of, vice versa a little bit. And I got to tell you what, this is one of my favorite teams I've ever been around. And maybe not because, of what's gone on all the time on the field, but more importantly, that just this team is so tough. They've been through so much, and they just don't flinch. And I cannot give this team enough credit. And I'll say this, if we had to play one game against anybody in the country, I'll take the Ohio State Buckeyes.
All righty, we'll go next to Tim May from Lettermen Row. Tim?
Hey, thanks, Mike. Ryan, just in a nutshell, Trey Sermon, he looked like that back everybody talked about a long time ago. I mean, when the holes were there, he flashed through them. When the holes weren't there, he bounced outside or made moves. Just what was your view of all of that? And just talk to me about the game he had.
He ran hard, like you said. The offensive line played unbelievable. The tight ends played really hard. They're the guys that get lost in the mix too. A lot of these tight ends. I mean, they block their tails off. But he ran. I mean, he ran with a different look in his eye. And sometimes when you come off of an injury, it takes a little while to get into a rhythm. And then Master went down, and he kind of just stepped up in a big way. And I'm really happy for him that this is another guy who overcame adversity. There was a time probably after week 2 or week 3, we really weren't sure, what's going on. Just maybe not hitting the hole right, didn't have a lot of confidence, and we didn't know Trey. So we weren't sure exactly what we had there. And then to see him persevere again through all that, to play the way he did in this game and break records like that, that's tremendous against a really good run-stopping defense.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
All righty, next up, Jared Smalley. Jared?
Ryan, I know this might be hard to answer at this point, but the 21-day rule in the Big Ten, obviously that's going to affect you as you move forward, potentially to January 1. What information do you have on that? And how many of the players who sat out today because of a positive test or tracing, how many of them might be affected by that?
A few. We kind of have a little bit of each. It's a mixed bag. I know they're looking at it right now. I don't know exactly where that's at in terms of, coming out with more information on that, but I know it's being looked at very hard.
All righty, next up, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, can you kind of go into more detail with Chris Olave, just what it's like to tell someone like that they're not gonna be able to play in a game like this, and then just also what his absence meant for the team?
It was significant. I mean, this is a guy who's just been unbelievable for us in big games. And then, a few days before the game, you don't have him. You kind of go into scramble mode, and then you have to move guys around. I thought Julian, though, stepped up and played a lot of reps for us. He played gunner. He made some nice catches early. So he did a good job stepping up and playing for him. But, when you have a rhythm with somebody, certainly, Justin and he had a really good feel for each other. That was significant. But it's not any kind of excuse. I thought Julian played well. Garrett made some really nice catches. He played well. I thought the catch he made there in the fourth quarter, that catch where he got his foot in bounds, that was a huge catch. I think Garrett really took a step forward this week in leadership with that group. And I'm really proud of those guys. And I told them it's never easy to win a championship. It just isn't. That's not the way life works, and certainly not in 2020.
All righty, next up, we'll go to Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, Brian, how concerned are you about Justin's thumb and how it might affect him down the road, and also about Master Teague status?
Yeah, I think it looked to me, and just talking to him quickly, like it was just a sprain. So I think hopefully he'll recover pretty quickly from that. But we'll have to see. I don't know much about it. Master, was out of the game. We'll have to just kind of see what the doctors are saying about him right now. Over the next couple of days, and then we'll try to get you an update.
All right, we got time for just a couple more with Coach Day. We'll go to Dan Hope from 11 Warriors. Dan?
Ryan, with Justin dealing with that injury and as well as Trey played, do you regret at all not committing to the run earlier?
No. It's like the same thing saying, like, did you go for it on fourth down? I mean, we're always going to be aggressive. That's just the way we are, and we just have to execute better. We got to coach better. We got to execute better. But against this team, you have to get them on their heels a little bit. If you don't do that and loosen them up, it's a long day running. Not too many people run the ball against Northwestern, and the only way to do that is to go after them and be aggressive. And we didn't hit those shots, but what we did is we backed them up, we loosened them up, and then I felt like we were able to run the ball and control the ball in the second half. But the defense really did a great job getting us the ball back, and they played really, really well in the second half. So the run game and the defense was excellent. I thought special teams was solid. We just didn't do as good a job in the pass game. But hey, listen, that's kind of how it goes. They got a really good team too.
All right, we'll wrap up Coach Day with Doug Limmer. Doug Limmer, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, as you said, it did feel like this game was kind of a microcosm of the season in a lot of ways. You know that every time you step on the field, everything you do, you're being evaluated by the people who make the decision that matters. Is it a little hard to evaluate you guys? Chris Olave's not playing, Baron Browning's not playing. You're trailing at halftime, but then you come back and win. How would you describe anybody trying to evaluate you guys right now based on today and your whole season?
I'm glad you asked the question, Doug. I'm just going to take a few minutes. What this team has been through, every conference is different because of the way things have gone this year. Everyone's experienced different things. what this team has gone through, I've said it all over and over, but I don't know if anybody really truly listens. They started off and had 2 spring practices, then they go in quarantine and they go away for a long time. They come into preseason camp and then they find out that the season's been pushed back. Then a few days later, they find out the season's been canceled. Then for a month, they don't have a target. They have nothing to work for a month. This, up until September, whatever that was, September 19th. And they decided, no, we want to play. We want to play safely. And they fought and they went public and they spoke up. And then on October 23rd, we played our first game. And the virus, everyone in the North goes inside and the virus spiked. And because of that, we had to deal with players being out of games. We had to deal with cancellation of games. We had a hard time getting into a rhythm on all 3 phases. And then we get into this game here. And it's, things maybe aren't clicking as good as they usually do. And we find a way to fight back in the second half. And in a world where it's all about wins and losses, this team has learned so much this season, which is like the reason why we even started playing college football in the first place. It's the reason why we play and we started coaching, was to see the growth of young men like this. And all I'm going to say is this. People can say whatever they want. They have their opinions. I'm not going to talk about other teams because I think we have enough to talk about positively about our program. But I'll say this. If we have an opportunity to play anybody in the country in one game, I'm going to take the Ohio State Buckeyes. I feel strongly about this team. We're made of unbelievable character, and they've been through so much. And I think there's a lot of people in the country that would agree with me.
All right, Austin, I think you just had one clarifying question.
Yeah, Ryan, with Justin's thumb, that didn't look like it happened until late. Is that right? It was
Yeah, I don't know exactly when it happened, but yeah, you're right. It wasn't something that happened in the first quarter or something like that.
Okay.
I
And the one guy who doesn't seem to be getting a lot of attention for what he did is Justin Hilliard today.
Oh my God! How about the interception he had in the one-on-one? I mean, he played his tail off. Yeah, I mean, there's, because of the game and because of all the things that people are going to want to talk about, there's a lot of things that happened today that people need to, really respect the fact that we won a Big Ten championship. And this is like Proctor's interception, like you said, Justin Hilliard, some of the punts. How about Zach Hoover stepping up? I mean, he never punted before in a game. I think that was like the first time he's ever punted. He did a great job. Julian Fleming stepping up in a big way. Dallas Gant having to play in a big way. I mean, there was a lot of guys that stepped up to win this game, and it doesn't just happen. And I'm really proud of this team.
All right, Coach Day, thank you very much. Congratulations again. Have a safe trip home.
All right, guys. Thanks.
We'll bring in Trey Sermon next for a couple minutes.
Right there, Trey.
All right, Trey, congratulations on a big game today. We'll start it out with Patrick Murphy from 247.
Trey, I talked to people down at Oklahoma when you first got here, or when you first committed, and they talked about your ability, and we'd seen it in bits and pieces. Was today the kind of complete picture that you wanted to paint if you'd had a full season, a full off season to kind of showcase what you could do as a Buckeye?
I definitely think so. I mean, I was able to just really just get in a groove and just keep it rolling. And I mean, my teammates were there to support me. So, I mean, it just kind of made it easy for me.
All right, next up, we'll go to Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on SI.
Hey, Trey, congratulations on a big day personally and as a team. Can you take us inside the locker room at halftime when things weren't really clicking offensively in the first half? And you had a couple of good runs but didn't get a bunch of touches. Just what was it like at halftime, and did you take anything personally away that really made you want to perform well in the second half like you did?
Our coaches just came and talked to us and really told us that only we were stopping ourselves. I mean, we just had a couple penalties and just making a couple mistakes. And, I mean, our mentality was just to make the most of every opportunity and execute. And, I mean, I feel like we came out and did that in the second half.
All righty, next up, we'll go to Bill Landis from The Athletic. Bill?
Trey, I'm sure you're not aware of this, how close you are to the record, but your carry where you broke the record, you certainly ran like a guy who knew he needed about 10 or so more yards to get there. Just the physicality that you ran with today. I know you had some long hits, but it seemed like you were breaking a ton of tackles too. Just where did that come from? And I guess what was your mindset today playing that physically?
My mindset is just to make the most of my opportunities. I mean, I'm aware of my ability, and I know I'm more than capable of making plays and just playing my game, which is, I mean, making guys miss and winning at the second level.
Alrighty, next we'll go to Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Hey, Trey, I know you had a solid game today, but this offensive line hasn't been together for literally a month intact, the starting unit. To see them block the way they did for you today, just talk about that a little bit.
It was amazing, man. I mean, those guys played their tails off. They fought hard from start to finish. And, I mean, I'm just grateful. I mean, they made my job easy, just moving the line of scrimmage, controlling it, and, I mean, just dominating up front.
All right, we'll do two more with Trey. We'll go to Tony Gerdeman, Buckeye Scoop.
Trey, athletes talk about being in the zone all the time. Baseball players, the ball looks big when they're in the zone. Were you in the zone today, and what's that feel like when you hit all of the cutbacks and you find all of the holes?
Well, when I'm in the zone, I mean, I just feel like personally everything just really slows down. The game really just slows down, and I'm able to just see everything develop and just continue to be decisive and just make the right reads and make the right cuts.
And was that today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Trey, Coach Day said that early in the year when things were not really going your way, you know, there were questions probably on both sides, from the coaches and probably from you. Just give me a sense of their state of mind at that point and what turned it around for you.
Really, they were just telling me to keep fighting. I mean, they brought me here because, I mean, they brought me here for a reason. I mean, they know that I'm a great player and I can make an impact. And I just had to really just believe that in myself as well. Just trust my coaching and just trust my teammates around me.
All right, Trey, congratulations once again. And we got Justin Hilliard up here next. Trey, have a great trip back to Columbus, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We'll bring in Justin Hilliard now.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you got time. Hey, Mike, we're going to go ahead and get Josh Myers in here to give you guys an offensive lineman to talk to for about 4 or 5 questions, and then I want to get Justin Hilliard, and then we're going to probably have to start to wrap it up at that point. But here's Josh Meyer right now. You ready?
Sounds good.
Oh, how we doing, guys?
Josh, congratulations on Big Ten title number 4 for you.
Thank you so much.
We'll start out the questioning with Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now in SI.
Josh, congratulations. I'm sure it's fun to be putting that hat on and getting a 4th ring here. But I'm not sure you've ever had a chance to block for a running back that went off the way Trey Sermon did this afternoon. Is there something as an offensive lineman that you can notice when a guy really gets into a zone where he ran for 271 yards in the second half alone?
Yeah. We had for starters, I did want to make this note early on. There was a lot of questions about our running game. And I got to tell you guys, it was the most, it was just the best feeling. You know, I asked Jerry to get the stat for me. They allowed 3.7 yards per rushing attempt, and we averaged over 9 on like 40 rushing attempts or something like that. So, I mean, I'm just over, I can't even express how happy I am about that. But yeah, I mean, with Trey, I mean, I don't know. We see it. I mean, really, we see it from a different angle than you guys do, but we see it the same way you guys do. After he broke a couple out, even in the first half, I was like, oh, he's about to go off. I knew it was just a matter of time. And man, did it feel good.
Alrighty, next up, Austin Ward, Lettermen Row.
Josh, can you walk it through a little bit for those of us who on the outside dealing with getting a positive case, missing a game, trying to come back, reacclimate, then play right into a championship game? I mean, you hadn't played in like 5 or 6 weeks, really, it seems like. What has this process been like for you? And then to cap it off the way you did today.
Yeah, Indiana was the last game I played in. And the process was awful. I got to be honest with you guys. I mean, it is what it is, and there's nothing I could do about it. But the process was terrible. I had to sit there for 10 days and basically do nothing. I mean, I had schoolwork and stuff I had to finish up for my internship. But other than that, I couldn't work out because I couldn't get my heart rate up. And so I was just sitting there, and it was probably 10 of the hardest days I've ever had in my life. And, with the Michigan State game, I was just so proud and so happy for our guys on the offensive line who stepped up to the plate and the way they stepped up to the plate. But, sitting there watching your own team play when you have so much invested into it too, it's awful. I don't have any other way to put it. When you invest so much and you sacrifice so much for something and then you have to sit out, it's hard to put into words how bad it is.
All right, we'll do 2 more because we got Justin Hilliard ready for you. So let's go to Jared Smalley.
Josh, just how big a difference does it make to have the band back together again? And how did that evolve through the game? Did you notice a pattern where, maybe early on there's some communication issues, and then later on it gets smooth?
Yeah, there was a lot of things that went into it. It was awesome getting back out there and getting to play with the boys again. To be honest, in terms of like conditioning and stuff like that, I was in better shape. I thought I might have had a bit of a hard time with it just because of sitting out for 10 days and literally not working out. I figured I was going to be pretty tired at the end of this game, and I was, but not how I thought I was going to be. So that was good. And it seemed like it was the same way for Nick and Thayer. So that was good. And then, yeah, I think part of it was figuring out what they were doing. There were looks that we knew they were going to give us, and they were disguising them pretty well. And they were moving a lot right before the snap, trying to disguise what they were doing. And once we kind of figured them out, then we were able to, bust some big runs open.
All righty, and last questions for Josh. Go to Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
And Josh, what you were just saying about your own situation with the virus. I mean, then what's kind of your emotional reaction this week when you see other players starting to deal with that? Maybe especially Chris Olave, who came back from, was so motivated to come back this season and kind of be here for moments like this.
Yeah, I mean, it just breaks your heart for guys like that. I talked to the team about it before the game when we were in the huddle. I was just like, one of the things that we had talked about is how, one of the things that has gotten brought up a lot this season has been how things get taken away from you in life at times and how it can be really hard. And I said, I was like, this season, it's everything. It's so many things have gotten taken away from us. And the point I was trying to make was that so many things have gotten taken away from us, but we're still here. And then I was just talking about, the brotherhood and the love that we have for each other. And I was like, just keep Chris Olave, Baron Browning, some of the guys that couldn't be here, keep those guys in your hearts, because I'm telling you, it was awful. I know what he's going through right now. And it's even worse for him because this is a Big Ten championship game. I only missed one game. So I can only imagine how bad he's hurting right now, wanting to be with us and wanting to experience this with us. So, God, I feel so bad for those guys.
All right, Josh, thank you very much for your time and congratulations again. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good one.
Like I said, we'll bring in Justin Hilliard will be our last player here.
Yeah, here we go.
Justin, grab a water. Thank you. What's up? I'm good, dog. Hello.
Justin, congratulations on another Big Ten title. We'll start out with Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Hey, Justin, you've had to step into a bigger role the last two games. I know that was 2 weeks ago, and you've kind of performed. And today, you had that interception. Can you talk about that interception and why you were able to pull that off?
Yeah, first of all, it's much nicer talking to you guys today. Last time I talked to the media was finding out the TM North game was canceled. But I would say that whole play was, like I always say, it's something that we practice. Our coaches put us in the best positions, man, to make plays, and I felt like I was extremely ready. I was ready for him to run that fade, and I was glad I was able to make that play.
All right, we'll go next to Austin Ward, Lettermen Row.
Justin, I know that you never envisioned, 6 years down the line that this is when it would finally happen for you. But, I mean, this is what you envisioned. And to all the adversity you faced, what were the emotions to have delivered such a big game when it mattered so much today?
Yeah, oh, my gosh, man. It's this whole journey, man, has been something. It's been tough, but it's been such a blessing at the same time. I know earlier this week I was able to talk to the younger guys at senior tackle, and that was just so emotional for me because just the journey I've been on and the guys that have been here with me to stick with me and push me through some of those tougher times. And same thing as today, man. I knew I had to step up today in a bigger role, and I'm glad I was able to.
All right, we'll go next to Whitney Harding, WCMH.
Hey, Justin. Obviously, in the first half, it was hard for your offense to get going. So on the defensive side, what were you guys talking about to, keep this game, stay in the game defensively? Because you guys really kept this team in this game.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, it's funny. It's like there's panic around everywhere except for on the defensive sideline and on a defensive huddle because we're trying to figure stuff out. We're trying to make adjustments and things like that. And I would say the whole I guess attitude on the sideline was mostly just trying to figure out what adjustments we need to make. Because I felt honestly, if I have to watch the film, but I felt like guys were running to the ball maybe too much to where we're overrunning certain things and things like that. So the effort was there. I think it was just a matter of fact that we just got to settle down and just play the ball that we know we can.
All righty, we'll go next to Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Hey, Justin, you talked about the adversity. I assume you think your name's going to be called, Ohio State's name is going to be called as one of the 4 playoff teams. What's that going to mean? How is that going to feel?
Oh, so much. I mean, we have a saying around here, get to Indy, because we know if we get to Indy and win and dominate that game, then we have a great chance of getting into the playoff. And so that's been the whole focus right now. It's been the whole focus this whole season was just to get to Indy, and now we did that. We won this game. We're looking forward to the next mission, and we'll wait tomorrow to find out what that is.
Are you one of the best 4 teams? I assume you think you are, and why?
Yeah, absolutely. Just the adversity this team has been through. I know we don't have many games as some, but if you look at our body of work and some of the things we're able to do with a lack of coaches, as in coaches testing positive, same with players, and how we were able to come together and win some of these tough games. I mean, that was a good team. If people really watched that game, that was a really good team, and they had some really good players. So I respect them greatly. So yeah, whatever the next mission is, I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Doug Lamarice, Cleveland.com.
Justin, you mentioned some of the coaches you guys were missing. What was it like for the linebackers? I'm not sure how long Al Washington was out, but what's it like when your position coach isn't with you?
Yeah, it's different, but like we said, we have to everyone has to step up. Guys who aren't playing have to step up. They have to be aware of what's going on with the offense. Other coaches have to step up and take that role. I mean, the coaches we lost, I'm not going to say any names because, all the violations and stuff, but the coaches that we lost, I feel like the younger coaches, the leadership on this team was able to fill that role really well.
All right, we'll do 2 more, and then we'll get Justin out of here. Let's go to Tim May, Lettermen Row.
Yeah, Justin, take your interception and your fumble recovery out of the mix. What is the play you're going to remember most, you think, from this game? What's the play that's still going on in your head? And it could be offense or defense, Trey Sermon, whatever. What's the play you're going to remember most from this championship game?
I wouldn't even say it's a play. I think the attitude of our defense and our team going out in that second half, we had so much confidence because we knew exactly what we had to do. We knew what we had to fix. And I felt like that moment, I'll never forget that moment. We were coming out in the second half. Coach Combs told us exactly what we needed to fix, exactly what we needed to do. And we were confident about it. We had no worries because we knew what we were capable of. And I'm glad we were able to pull it off.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All righty, we'll wrap up, Justin, with Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, Justin, can you share what Coach Combs said in terms of what those adjustments were? You mentioned dealing with the cutbacks, but what else was that conversation?
I'm not going to get into the exact details of it, but I would say mostly it was some tackling. What they gave us in that Wildcat formation was something that we knew they were going to run, but they were running some different things. We know that as Ohio State, we're going to get different looks that they haven't shown, and we're just trying to figure those things out. And yeah, there's a lot of details in it I'm not going to go over, but he did a great job of doing that.
All right, Justin, congratulations. Have a safe trip back to Columbus, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Okay, hey, folks, I don't exactly know what the plan is tomorrow other than